Hello Duster lovers, it's Merv back with a quick tip. What we're going to do today is replace the lights in our heater controls. Now off of, I think it was Amazon, might have been eBay, I bought some of these little LED white lights as a replacement. I've replaced the bulbs a few times with the normal bulbs and they keep blowing. And it's a little bit of a faff to get them changed, so today I'll take you through what it is to get the bulbs changed in these heater controls. Now there's an old saying, don't do as I do, do as I say. We've got to get this trim off. Now what I would suggest is please invest in a pack of the plastic trim levers. You can get them cheap off of the usual online suppliers. I haven't actually got any. I'm going to use a screwdriver. If you use that, you do have the potential of damaging your plastic. Mine's been off quite a few times, so I'm going to give it a go. So it seems a little bit brutal. Oh. So that's the outer trim off. Now there's another trim underneath that, and this one's a bit more tricky to get out. Bit of levering, you think you're going to break it, but it does eventually pull out. You've got to be a little bit brave with it. And at the bottom there's some long levers, but before we get to the bottom there's 3 plugs we got to unplug. We'll just see if the camera will pick them up. So we got the door locking power, we got the hazard warning and the heated rear window. This one, they got some little tabs on the side there, you just pull them off. This one's got a tab in the middle, and this one's got side tabs again. And that one I'm just going to use something to push that down. Okay, so that's those 3 unplugged, and there is some long legs at the bottom there, so don't start yanking the bottom too hard because they got these long legs. Okay, so that's out. Now we got the 4 screws of the radio or media nav, whatever you have. Okay, so it's a number 20 Torx. Careful not to drop the screws. Funny, I was always going to update this radio to a media nav, but I'm a little bit old school, quite like the CD player, and also I quite like the more conventional radio on it. I might do it one day, but how long is one day? The car's nearly 8 years old now. We'll see. I've never felt the need to have an upgrade. I quite like using the different apps you get on your phones really for navigational purposes. Okay, that's 4 screws off there, and the radio just pulls out. Now you haven't got a great deal of room to unplug everything on the back of the radio, Let me just see if I can show you. So these are all sort of push down plugs. Got a good nail, that's handy. Trying to hold the camera and unplug this at the same time, which can be a bit tricky. Last one is the aerial. So that's the radio all unplugged. Okay, so doing all that gives us the access to get down and get those two bulbs out. Now let's see if I can show you where they are. It's a bit like a surgeon, isn't it? So where my finger is, down there. I find it's all done by feel. Right. Right, you can just see the tip. Not enough light down there. Get a torch to assist with a bit of light. Okay, so you can see that blue, you can see the blue bit there. It's to the right of that and down a bit, or up, as you're seeing in the picture there. I wish I could get a anyway, we're gonna make more sense when you're trying to do it yourself, because like I say, it's just a bit tricky to hold the camera and actually show you exactly where it is. But anyway, I'm going to pull it out and then I'll show you. Okay, so this is the bulb I've pulled out. Now, can you see that little wing? One of them is up higher than the other. They're very, very easily bent, those little wings. Basically, what happens is that goes in a circuit board. The circuit board fits between the lower and upper bit of metal there. When you put them in, you've got to try and twist that into the circuit board. So if you push it right in, it may not actually catch on the board. It's a very, very fiddly little thing to do. You've got to do it all by feel. You'll feel it when it's right, because if you can imagine, the screwdriver's a circuit board. You've got to get it through the gap, which is shaped like the oval, and then you twist it and then it connects like that. Yeah, but because you can't really see what you're doing, you have to do it by feel. Well, a little update. I decided not to use the LED bulbs. I didn't realise what poor quality they were. I had several of them broke when I tried to put them in, so I've gone back to the traditional filament bulb. Right, so now after testing it, if you can see that, got lights, everything just goes back the same way as it was taken out. So it's a lot easier to go back, and it's just all pushing the plugs in sockets. Cover in a previous video about the radio code on these. Can't remember mine, I have to go and get the handbook in a minute. But to actually get that bulb in is very fiddly. You've got to have very dexterous hands. I think the first time I'd done it, I used I borrowed my wife's makeup mirror so I could actually see the hole. And the trouble is, to take the heater control unit out is a nightmare, because you've got cables. So you can do it, but it's a lot of work. If you can do it by being dexterous, then it's a lot better. Right, so radio screwed in. Next, the under fascia, as I would call it. So these bits here fit down the bottom. And you get it on the angle. Another set of plugs that you took out. Okay, they're all in. It's just a case of lining that up, pushing it back. Just check everything's working. Hazard warnings. Yep, lock. Heated rear window. And the last bit of fascia. It up, excellent. Well, there we are, it's done. It's not easy, it's very fiddly. It's just getting your hands in the back there and feeling the little turn. It's a tricky one. I find it a little bit frustrating. Perhaps if you had slightly more dexterous fingers than what I got, you'd find it a little bit easier. But like I say, the first time I'd done it, I used a mirror at the back there so I could see where it was turning. The other thing is as well, the space between these have got to be right, because if they're too open, they're going to be too loose on the circuit board, too closed, and you won't be able to get it turned into the circuit board. So probably best to look at the bulb that you take out and look at the gap you've got between it, and then you know that's the sort of similar gap you've got to work with. Well, I hope you found it useful.